Hey, it's Rebecca Smith from the KBIA newsroom in Columbia, and it's time for Missouri Health Talks, a project where we listen in on Missourians' conversations about access to health care. For the month of November, we're focusing on the role that human connection can play in health. Approximately 33 million Americans have severe food allergies, which can make holiday eating a challenge. Craig Fontenot and Dr. Cleary both work at Food Allergy Research and Education, or FARE, a national nonprofit focusing on food allergies. They spoke about what people can do to make holiday gatherings safer and more comfortable for everyone. Here's Craig.
There's a lot allies and champions can do, family members, friends. And I think that's one asking about those food allergies, right? And really understand being proactive with your guests to make them feel comfortable disclosing so they don't feel different or put out. And then, there's an opportunity to potentially even work with that individual, design an inclusive menu because they are experienced at thoughtful ingredients and ways to make those traditional dishes safe. And there's so much innovation that's happening in food around options that are top 9 free or even top 14 free, as the case may be. So there's a real opportunity for your guests that do have food allergies to educate those who are trying to build an inclusive environment about what those options look like. And then cross contact is a big educational area that most individuals who are inviting people over with food allergies don't always have an understanding of, and rightfully so. But really making sure that your utensils, your pots and pans with which you're preparing the dishes don't come into contact with those allergens. And I think it's really important that your food allergy guests understand what accommodations you're making in your kitchen, even if that's inviting them into the kitchen to help prep that meal with you so they can oversee that. Because there's giving control over to even a friend or a family member takes some trust. So I think partnering with your food allergy guest is the most important way to signal inclusivity.
I think awareness, like the holidays don't look the same for everyone who's seated at that table, right? So just recognizing that and then almost accepting what that person wants to do, right? So if that person is not comfortable eating something that you made and is safe, that is not at all a nod against you. It's this is how they keep safe and how they keep their mind focused on making sure that they're always vigilant. So I think it's really respecting what your guest wants, but I truly will say that any inquiry that's showing awareness is meaningful. And sometimes the smallest gestures are the most meaningful in those cases. So it's really understanding where that person is coming from and what parameters and precautions they take in their day-to-day life and what they're comfortable with. So that's kind of where I would say it's discussion, it's talking about it, but it will be very welcome just by saying, hey, how can we help you here?
That was Dr. Cleary and Craig Fontenot with Food Allergy Research and Education, or FARE, speaking about how holiday gatherings can be made safer and more welcoming for those with severe food allergies. That's it for this week's Missouri Health Talks. Tune in next week for more conversations from throughout the state about health and access. I'm Rebecca Smith. Thanks for listening.